What's going on, guys? This is Damien from The Lookout, and I'm here with Tomas' 6th place Android 21 deck from the Latin America regionals. Yeah, this is one of the ones that was missing yesterday, but Tomas got in contact with me and he sent me this deck list, and I'm very happy to have it today to present it to you guys. But before we begin this video, guys, we are super close to 2000 subs. So please hit those like and subscribe buttons, share the video with your friends, and maybe somehow we can get to 2k subs by the end of March. Now, roll the video. Okay guys, here is the deck. Let's go over it. So this is the Blue Android 21 from the newest set 20. And this one is pretty scary. A lot of people are afraid of this one because cheating out stuff very early, very efficiently is terrifying, to be honest. But for those of you who don't know what the leader does, on the front side she has a permanent. You can't activate extras during your turn, and you can't play battle cards by skills. This allows aggro decks to pressure her a bit more earlier in the game. Then auto. If you have an A21Z battle card in play, at the end of your turn, switch up to one of your blue energy to active mode. And the most important part, activate main. Once per turn you get to take one of your lives, look at top 5, grab an android, and then she gets plus 5k until the end of turn. She can only awaken on 4 lives or less. On the other side, she has the permanent that during your turn you can't play cards with skills, and she also has this insane permanent which makes her super scary. When paying energy cost of Android 21 cards, you can use your A21Z battle cards or your opponent's battle cards and unisons as energy. Yeah, so you can actually tap your opponent's cards and use them for energy. And if your opponent has the entire field tapped, activate main. Once per turn, you draw one and then you choose 3 of their battle cards, ignoring barrier, or unisons, ignoring barrier, switch them to active mode, and then you use them as energy. So, that's basically the leader. Let's get into the deck. First, 4 copies of Android 21 Mandatory Gathering. This is your 1-cost staple. This card does so much. This card is amazing. First, when you play her, she's basically a tutor. You tutor for cards. You look at top 5, you grab a blue android with cost 5 or less, you shuffle your deck, but most importantly, at the end of your opponent's next turn, you give them 1 clone token with 10k power. And her other auto is, if this is your leader, if your leader is a blue android, when this card is used in a combo from hand, play 1 clone token in your opponent's battle area. So yeah, when she enters, she creates a clone token which you can use for energy, or if you need to combo, you just pitch her and you create a clone token. Then we have an older version of Android 21. This one came out in set 8. So this is Android 21, the Ringleader. 4k, 1 cost, only 3 copies. Auto. If your leader is an android, when this card is played, draw 1, and at the end of your opponent's next turn, give them a clone token, create 1. And then activate main once per turn for 1 blue and 1 green energy. If your leader is an android card, choose 1 Android 21 scheme from your drop and activate it. This doesn't matter. We're not playing Android 21 scheme. But 4 copies of the new 1-drop, 3 copies of the old 1-drop, and then you're secure that you're creating clone tokens for your opponent. Then we have this monstrous, this card is so crazy. Android 21 Total Audacity, 4 cost, 2 specified blue. Don't worry, you won't be paying 4, you will just use your opponent's cards for her. She has Deflect, Double Strike 20k and Auto Limit 1, which says when this card is played, draw 2, and at the end of your opponent's next turn, play a clone token on their field. So If you're using your opponent's cards as energies, this card is basically pay to energy, draw 2. If your opponent isn't blue, it's pay to energy, draw 2, deflect, double strike, 20k, and ramp effectively. Just ramp at the end of your opponent's next turn. This card is amazing. It does so much. Then we have 3 copies of Android 21 Wavering Will. This is the negate. I know that not a lot of people are sold on it, but I think that it's pretty good. A critical blocker. It's always good to have a blocker negate. Counterplay, play this card, and auto when she's played, you choose one. If it's your turn, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards and bottom deck it, and then at the end of the turn, switch her to active mode. So if it's your turn, you just swing with her and then you restand her. Or if it's your opponent's turn, draw a card. So you're basically probably gonna just use her as a counterplay. So it's critical, blocker, counterplay, draw a card, 20k. That's not bad. It's not ideal, but it's not bad. We have 4 copies of the Floodgate. This is one of the craziest floodgates in the game. This floodgate is so stupid. It's so stupid. It basically says energy exhaust, double strike, counter attack, play this card. It's a 4 cost, 25k, permanent. If this is your leader, you ignore energy exhaust. So this is just a free multicolored energy. Auto. When she's played, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards, ignoring barrier, place it in its owner's drop, and your opponent can't attack with non-leaders for the turn unless they place 1 card each from their hand and the energy in its owner's drop each time. Like this is stupid. Like this is really stupid strong. So yeah, you're running 4 copies of this because it takes planning to go over this card, you know, to just go around her. It takes planning. You need to calculate your Z energy very carefully, and you need to count on your opponent having this thing. Then 4 copies of the Boss Monster. The Boss Monster is just broken. Like this is like an SER level of card. This is just crazy. This card does so much. And this is the card that basically wins you the game. It is the Boss Monster. I mean, yeah. I won't go over everything. I mean, actually I will. Just super fast. Deflect, double strike, dual attack, 25k, 8 cost. If your leader is blue Android 21, reduce the combo cost by 1. So this is a free 10k combo. Okay. Auto, when this card is played, choose any number of your opponent's battle cards ignoring barrier and place them in their owner's drop. So just wipe the board. Auto, once per turn, when your opponent discards when your opponent activates a counter skill, they discard 2 cards from their hand, and at the end of the turn switch 5 energies to active mode. No wonder you're playing 4 copies of this. Like you have to play 4 copies of this. This card is insane. 4 copies of Bad Omen. Now, I've asked specifically about Bad Omen. How many times did he get to play it and did he get to win? And he told me only once in the entire tournament did he manage to burn 2 lives with this card. That this card is cool on paper, but in practice you're not really like sacrificing energy for it, and it's too slow, and it's just like it's not as crazy as everyone thought it was going to be. He says like he would cut it down to 2, and even then he just won with them once. But if you don't know what it does, it basically kills your energy and burns your opponent for 1. 4 copies of Android 17 Defending Friends, the best blue floodgate currently in the game. 4 copies of Android 18 Measureless Strength. This one can either search the deck or it can just enter as a, you know, multicolored land, multicolored energy. You can just discard her, look top 5, grab something if you don't need a multicolored energy. 2 copies of SS Rose Goku Black, Mortals Be Gone, because you will be attacking and going into combat a lot. You might find yourself with some open energy, and why not? Like, honestly, why not play 2 copies of this card? This card is phenomenal. 2 copies of Son Gohan Power Reclaimed, the blue Gohan rare, which is amazing, which is really an amazing card. This one does so much. And then we have the super combos. So these 4 are the only, and maybe Android 18, but these 2 are the only non-androids, non-archetype cards. So we can count like 18 and 17 as not in archetype, but androids. You can search for them, you can grab them out of top 5. These 2 are just generic good blue stuff. For super combos, you have Zeno, which makes sense to play Zeno in this deck just to untap some of your energies on your defense. And then you have 2 copies of Vegeta for some more draw power. We also have 1 copy of Dabura Ritual at hand. The reason why this is in main deck is because the event was no pre-side best of 1. So you need to main deck something for hand destruction. Then we have 1 copy of Majin Buu. Good. It's a good thing that it's limited to 1, but as a 1 copy, I didn't ask, did he get to use it? I don't believe so. I think that this is too slow in the deck, but yeah, just 1 copy, because why not? Most blue decks will still run him as a one-off. Then 1 copy of Ultra Instinct Goku's Kamehameha for damage and buffing and doing everything ever. If you don't know what this card does, it just gives your leader plus 15k, and if all of your energy is blue, not mono blue, just blue, when you activate it, you either draw 1 during your turn or you just restand an energy during your opponent's turn, and it's like 15k. It's basically, if you have 1 energy, it's a free 15k. Then we have 2 copies of Dirty Burst to fight those Gojitas. 1 copy of Absolute Release Ball. I haven't seen this card in forever. What it does is, it came in the same cycle as Beerus Counterplay, I believe. If your leader is blue and your life is at 4 or less, if a battle card that's being played has a cost 3 or less, it is returned to its owner's hand instead of being played, and you switch 1 blue energy into active mode. And if you have a multicolored card in your energy, which you will have, and your life is at 4 or less, you can activate this card's counter skill from your hand by adding a life instead of paying its cost. So yeah, you will have multicolored energy, so you can just negate something for free, restand an energy. That's always awesome. 4 copies of Senzu in defense, gives you a nice boost, restands energy. 3 copies of Realm of the God Beerus Destroys for some extra utility. 4 copies of Dimension Magic, because this is the best blue negate in the game. And finally, 1 copy of the SCR, because this SCR is completely insane. This SCR is phenomenal. So there was no pre-side, but we have a Z deck here, and that is 2 copies of Android 21 in the Name of Peace. This one is good in those lower matchups if your opponent knows, like, okay, I shouldn't be really attacking if I'm playing a slower deck, because this leader can only awaken at 4, and you want to attack a bit earlier. This is a good card for that, because you just play her, you take a life. And then you have 3 copies of Android 21 in the Name of Hunger, 1 copy of Cell, and finally 1 copy of Beerus Area Annihilator, because why not? Beerus is phenomenal. So yeah guys, this is the deck. That's it for the video. Let us know in the comments below, will you be giving this deck a go? Are you excited to try Android 21? Are you already building the deck? Are you afraid of facing this deck at the tournaments? Android 21 is looking very scary, and we will have our how to play guide on her very soon. So guys, let me know in the comments below. I read all of your comments, I try to respond to everything. I love our little community. And before you leave, hit that share button, like, subscribe, help us reach 2000 subs by the end of March. If we can do that, that would be amazing, and then we will have an awesome giveaway. This has been Damien from The Lookout, and I'll see all of you in the next video.